Hello everyone, it is MisterStubstep, and today I'll be doing another value discussion on the black and white set Plasma Storm. Shoot, I almost said something else. We're going to be doing Plasma Storm today. Like always, I'll have some chapters down below if you just want to skip right to the graded card discussion, because I normally go over the spreadsheet as a whole first, for those that are watching for the first time. So, starting out with some administrative information, I also have links to these spreadsheets or the Google Sheets down below, as well as all the playlist containing all the other black and white value discussions. Then I've also done all the Sun and Moon, all this, and then all the X and Y sets and their promos, and then all the Sword and Shield sets through Vivid Voltage at this time for the value discussion. So, administrative information, the spreadsheet is as of 9 August 21. So, anything after that, it'll be technically out of date, but these cards aren't moving as rapidly as some other cards, so it shouldn't be too much of an effect. Release date was 5 February 2013. Base card total 135, secret rare total 3 cards for a total of 138 within the set. Honestly, to me, that's a really good size set. I really like that. And then there's some color coordination. In the far left column, we have the card, very self-explanatory. If it's highlighted in red, it'll be a card that I'm talking about today, and if it's italicized, it's a card that I own. I only own like 2 or 3 cards from this set, just like random cards that I've just come across, and none of them are worth over $1, so they're not even on this list. Rarity, pretty self-explanatory. There are the rare ace cards, or the ace spec cards within this set as well. They started in Boundaries Cross, and they continue in Plasma Storm. We have the raw and TCG player. It's the marketplace value on TCG player rounded down to the nearest dollar. Grade, I'm trying to find PSA 10s or just find anything graded. A lot of these cards are really hard to find, just graded listings in general. But I try to aspire for that PSA 10 and then kind of go from there. From sold price, it's the last sold listing on eBay rounded up to the nearest dollar, not including shipping. Data sale is when that listing or auction ended. And then the PSA 10 population, the number on the left is the number of 10s, and the number on the right is the number currently registered with PSA. And if there's an R in parentheses, that means it's referring to the reversed version of that card, because sometimes the regular version isn't even graded. So, yeah, or it hasn't sold recently. So, I'm going to be skipping a lot initially. It's just, I don't really see any point in talking about a lot of these cards. It's more about like just information for y'all and what cards are actually worth, over $1. So if you happen to have some of these cards or some bulk, you can kind of sift through them. There is a Squirtle within the set. There's a bunch of Team Plasma, kind of not sponsored, but like kind of like the Gym series of cards a little bit, but it's like more Team Plasma, or more like Team Rocket, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why I said Gym, but yeah. So you have a few listings here and there, but recently I think we already kind of bottomed out as far as the trends of Pokemon card prices, and then we're kind of on a slow incline again because we're approaching celebrations and the 25th anniversary set. We'll probably hit one last little peak, and then from there I think stuff will truly sink and stabilize, but who knows. So starting off, we have a lot of good trainer cards and all that stuff. Oh, you can see myself in there. Take myself away. We'll start with the Zapdos EX with Team Plasma. Ungraded $7. PSA 10 sold for $105. 13 out of 84 graded a 10. You're going to see a lot of cards within this set. Extremely hard to grade, and not a lot have been graded in general. There are a lot of legendary bird collectors out there, and this is another set with all 3. Not all of them have their full art forms within this set. I think only Articuno does, but there are other sets that have, the Zapdos as well as the Moltres full arts. So, Articuno EX, Team Plasma, $8 ungraded, $259 in a PSA 10. It has the same amount of 10s as the Zapdos, but not as many graded. Only almost half as much as the Zapdos. We have the Random Receiver, which is a secret rare, $14. I remember I was reading some of these cards, but I did it a couple days ago, so I can't actually remember what the card does. But I imagine it's somewhat decent, and it's a secret rare, so it was fairly hard to pull. PSA 10, $125, only 15 out of 119 graded. I was pretty surprised to see that over 100 of this card were graded, so that's kind of cool. It has the gold border. It's a pretty cool looking card for a trainer card. We have the Lugia EX. Yes, this set has Lugia in it. Look at that. It's the Team Plasma version. PSA 10, $410. Honestly, for a Lugia card, that's kind of on the cheap side, but in general, it's a very pricey, expensive card. 17 out of 107 graded a 10. Sorry, I think in the past I said that I'd be clicking on these to make it easier to see. But yeah, I'll just start doing that right now. So the 17 out of 107, very hard to grade. It's a Lugia card, the second generation Charizard, you could say. Not quite Charizard level, but it's pretty high up there. This is a cool card in my opinion. I like it a lot. We have the Victini EX Full Art and a 9 selling for 132. Any cards that are in a 9 selling for over 100 are pretty solid, but I think the reason why a lot of these cards are selling for over 100 is because their population reports are so low, and there are those full art master set collectors out there. And there's only 4 out of 98 graded a 10. So I bet you if there was a 10 in this, it'd probably at least sell for 500, maybe higher, because just that rarity is, and that scarcity is actually, yeah, that's the lowest graded 10 as far as like these more expensive cards here at the bottom. That's pretty crazy. Lowest number of 10s. The Cobalion, curious how you guys pronounce that, EX Full Art, ungraded $20. A CGC 8.5 selling for $48. Just CGC plus an 8.5, it's kind of like double ugliness when it comes to grading. Because, CGC, everyone's kind of split, and then an 8.5, no one really likes half grades unless it's like a 9.5 in BGS. Or actually, a 9.5 in CGC is pretty solid. But, yeah, $48. Only 6 out of 156 graded a 10 on PSA side. That is a really scarce card as well. Horrible ratio as far as grading goes. So, yeah, another rare full art card within black and white. Go figure. We have the Dowsing Machine. This is one of the A-Spec cards. $26 ungraded, PSA 8.5, $25, 8 out of 21 graded a 10. I don't know if there's anyone I'm sure there's somebody out there that's collecting obscure rarity Pokemon cards in 10s or whatever, but yeah, there's only 8 of them there, so good luck on finding that Dowsing Machine. We have the Articuno EX Team Plasma Full Art, ungraded, selling for 56, and a PSA 9 selling for 103. To me, it's a little low. It is a 9. I think a 10 would at least get you around $500, but maybe a little bit more. It's a legendary bird. The amount of PSA 10s is 15 out of 191, which, again, is a very, very low ratio. Like anything under 10% that's a pretty scarce card. Like it's pretty scarce. But then again, the demand for these isn't as high. It's a black and white series set, kind of obscure. But it is a legendary bird, so someone that's collecting, they'd have to do a little bit more research to figure out that they even want this card, We have the Colress Team Plasma Full Art. This is a pretty solid trainer card. $65 ungraded, PSA 8, selling for 50, 10 out of 96 graded a 10. Nothing really too special. I didn't really like this character in the game, but in the TCG, it's a decent card. So there's that. We have the Lugia EX Team Plasma Full Art. A Lugia Full Art and a 9 selling for over $400, $457, and a 9. So, let's be real, in a 10, definitely over $1,000, maybe, probably, more than likely more based on these other values, but 15 out of 243 rated a 10. There's definitely Lugia Master Set collectors out there, and this is probably one that's really hard to find. I mean, obviously you have the Lugia with the Neogenesis, but yeah, this one is another one that's very low population. We have the Blastoise Secret Rare, $389 ungraded, $1,700 and a 10. This is a cool card. The artwork's kind of okay, but the shiny Blastoise with the gold border is a really nice look, and this card's really good. Its ability Deluge it's pretty solid within the game. 45 out of 537 10s, so another really hard card to grade, but a 10 has sold recently, and it sold for a good chunk. I imagine if the demand for this card was a little bit higher, it would sell for way more, but, this is just one of those more obscure cards. It is a shiny card, though, and it's one of the OG starters, so it has a lot going for it. And finally, the Charizard from Plasma Storm. My goodness, once again, this artwork isn't my favorite. Ungraded, selling for $700. PSA 9, 910. A 9. This card came out in 2013, so little over 8 years old. A 9 selling for over 900. 78 out of 1,147 had graded a 10. So another really hard card to grade. I imagine during this time, there probably wasn't too many collectors, and even if they were probably players of the game also. And so I imagine like a lot of these cards were getting played. When you go back to base set or even now with modern, a lot of people push stuff to the side, protected stuff, because it was the original, or even now, a lot of us are just wiser to, maintain that stuff. But like during the black and white, the X and Y era, there weren't as many of those people that were taking care of the stuff and, thinking, oh, this is going to skyrocket someday, because it wasn't even that popular at the time. So it's just interesting to see the numbers and the disparity, and probably the printing quality wasn't that good either. But I would imagine that the way people were treating the cards at the time would play a huge factor in this too. But yeah, the Charizard would have been the big dog, but I couldn't find a 10 sold recently. It just shows how rare it is to find. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this. We'll go to some tidbits at the bottom. I actually bolded it so it's a little bit easier to see, but Plasma Storm has 32 cards over $1, so not quite as much as Dark Explorers or Boundaries Crossed. This is a tough set to kind of rank. I haven't ranked it as of this moment, but because it has a Charizard and Lugia, that bumps its numbers up tremendously, and Legendary Birds, and some of the lower end like pre-evolutions of the starters. It definitely helps. I couldn't find a master set. A bunch of like incomplete sets that were sold, but to me, those can all like vary in price just based on how somebody assesses it. So I didn't want to really report all that stuff here because it's so variable. Booster pack was average around $110, depending on the pack artwork. If you had a Lugia pack artwork, it might sell for more. But then if you had the other pack artworks, like I think Victini might have been one, I can't remember. It was, well, I'll have shown the booster packs on this video, but yeah, some of the other less desirable pack artworks would sell for less than $100, but it averaged for about $110. And this is the first set with the Elite Trainer box. It has a Lugia on it. $3,181 for this freaking Elite Trainer box. There are definitely Master Set Elite Trainer box collectors out there, and I guarantee you a lot of them are missing this freaking box. I don't know how rare it is, but it's the oldest one. It's the OG, and they probably are not printing as many Elite Trainer boxes back then as they are now. So yeah, this one's, like, I thought the Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer box is hard to find. I don't have one, and it seemed like it came and went. But this box, who knows? And it has Lugia on it. Like, that's pretty solid. And then the booster box. Funny enough, in X and Y, the booster boxes a lot of times would actually sell less than the Elite Trainer boxes. But in this case, a booster box, because, you get higher chances for pulling that Charizard or Blastoise and Lugia and Legendary Birds, $7,228 for a booster box, or the last sold listing for a booster box. That's a pretty hefty booster box price. I mean, that's almost getting to like some of the OG WotC set prices. I mean, a lot of those go for like 10K plus, but 7,000, that's pretty solid. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this. Going over some collectible tiers. I definitely would put Charizard at the top block, the Blastoise, Lugia cards in the middle, and then I'd probably put all the Legendary Birds and then some of the other full arts within that low tier of collectability. I mean, you have a Snorlax, you have the other Legendary Birds, and you have some other, I mean, these cards are unique with the Team Plasma. They're not really my favorite, unique spin on things. Like the coloration is kind of like that dark blue, purplish type archetype. But I mean, it's whatever. If it's your thing, it's your thing. This is probably a really poppin' set. But then you have a set like Team Rocket Returns or other sets like that where that color scheme, in my opinion, looks a lot better. But, if you might prefer this more, then, more power to you. And, Plasma Storm is waiting. So that's all I have for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I plan to finish black and white, and then I might take a break or, do some more modern and then like more popular sets. I was going to continue on this trend, but these are easily, my least... I get the least amount of traction for these videos on my channel, and these actually take the most work. So, when you think about it from a business standpoint, even though this isn't a business because I'm not making money from it, but I'm pouring the most time into the things that give me the least amount of output, so it doesn't really make sense to keep inputting, but I'll go in other directions. But seriously, if there are those of you out there that truly appreciate these videos and will love that I continue, if you're still out there, then I will continue to make these, because to me, I think it's worth it if, one or two people is like, hey, can you please keep doing these? Because I think they are informative, and I do learn a lot in doing them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I wish you guys the best of luck in finding some great cards for your collection.